Hello. Today I'm talking to you about how to recover from burnout. And if you're not sure what burnout is, this is something I have discussed in my previous videos. So please do go back and look at those. I would say the most important thing about burnout recovery is actually acknowledging and recognizing that you are experiencing burnout. And if you're not sure what that is, it's a state of having feelings of exhaustion, which are sort of mental, emotional, and physical, to the point where you feel you can't just get up every day and carry on. So lots of people are on the borderline of burning out, and they sort of function like that for a very long time. And they keep on going and they try their best to keep doing what they need to be doing at work or in their personal life. And at some point, some people find that this becomes too much and they're not able to carry on in that way. So the first thing to recovering is actually recognizing that you have such a thing in the first place. Um, so the question about how you recover, and I do work with lots of people one to one who have experienced this or on the cusp of experiencing this. And I think the first thing to do is to really set aside the time to have some time off. And whether that means taking some time off work or whether that means taking a redundancy or actually just taking a break from work for a while, if that's at all possible. I know that's not possible for everyone. Sometimes when people are burnt out, this is kind of imposed upon them. They're not able to change it because they're physically and mentally so unable to continue that they are forced to take that time off. So it may be that that's the case for you. In which case, the most important thing I would say you need is rest and some relaxation. So sleeping as much as is adequate for you or for the person that's suffering from burnout is really, really important. And actually removing all of the different kind of responsibilities which they would have been doing on a daily basis, which they're no longer able to manage at this point. They probably could struggle on, but it's only going to prolong the burnout and may actually turn it into something more pervasive, longer, deeper, and so on. So the best thing to do is to try and reduce those responsibilities for this time when you're in the burnout phase. Um, I would say rest, relaxation, adequate sleep, and I would say a real focus on self-care, starting with, nutrition and drinking water and all of those basic needs that we all need to have met. But sometimes when we're just focused on a task, busy at work, continually striving, working really hard, um, we sometimes neglect those things. And obviously our body and our mind is like a machine and it needs to be treated well. So it's brought you to the point of burnout because it's not being treated in the best way possible, perhaps. So I would say also try, when you have the energy, even if it's for an hour a day or 15 minutes a day, try and do positive things that help you to relax. That might be reading something or watching something or listening to something. It can be quite a passive kind of enjoyment, but I would say nothing too taxing and complex that's going to just make you tired. Something that makes you feel a bit uplifted, a bit joyful. I always used to enjoy, when I was unwell and I was suffering from burnout, enjoy watching old films or things I'd seen before, which were familiar and they didn't actually need a lot of attention. So I could doze in and out of sleep and rest and just enjoy the bits that were fun. So that's something that you might consider as well. I think when the burnout acute phase has passed and you're feeling better, that's the time to really start examining where you can make changes in your life. So I think it's really the time for an honest assessment and a real honest look at your life to work out what is working, what's working well, and what is causing you distress or difficulty, and what needs to change. So alongside what's working well, what needs to change, also what's really, really important to you. So your values of what you think is important are going to be really critical at this point. So you can even make a sort of list with a hierarchy of the most important things to you. So you might say, my work is really important to me, or my reputation, or you might say my family, or whatever it is, really looking at the different areas of your life and working out what's really important to you, because that's going to help you reprioritize where you put your energy. In the last video, I was speaking about what takes up your time, what takes up your energy. And if a whole lot of your time and energy is taken up by something you do not value, something you don't think is important, that's going to be a very difficult thing to reconcile in your body and your mind. So you need to be spending your time and your energy and your effort on the things that you feel are important, that are making a difference to you in your life. And that's going to be different for each person watching this. So re-examining your life, having a really honest look at it, and working out what's working, what isn't, and what's important to you. I think recognizing the signs of where things started to go wrong for you are really important, because if you are somebody who has suffered from burnout before, or you're suffering from burnout now, or you feel that you are on the cusp of it, it probably means that you're the type of person who cares a lot about what you do, what's maybe you are quite vigilant, you want to do things right, you have a real sense of doing the right thing, you want things to be done correctly and properly. And you may even have perfectionist tendencies, or you may have people-pleasing tendencies, where you want to make sure that everybody's happy and that everybody's catered for and their needs are being met. In sometimes these tendencies mean that we neglect ourselves because we're putting everyone else first as a priority. So I think it's really important to work out what the signs were when the burnout maybe started, so that you can recognize it again if it starts to come up for you, and work on these first to avoid this happening again. I think it's also really important to take each day at a time when you're in the middle of a burnout phase. I think that's of critical importance. Just taking care of your self-care, your basic needs, giving yourself a little bit of joy and a bit of relaxation, and just taking away, delegating, or removing any of those responsibilities that you're not able to handle at this moment, knowing that the better your recovery, the sooner you will feel better, And the thing is, it took time for you to get to that point. It didn't just happen overnight. Burnout is usually like a very slow burn, and then it sort of comes to a point where you realize you're in that situation. Or you might be in the phase of that burning the candle at both ends and feeling the heat is coming on you. So it's taken a long time to get there, and it will take some time to get back. But you can reduce the amount of time it takes by really taking it every day at a time, and looking at how you can make those adjustments. So it's also really important to keep connected with other people. So seek help or courage, and talking to family, friends, even your HR department. If you have an HR department at your work, you might be self-employed, so you might be in a different situation. But if you feel that you really need to speak to somebody and you're not getting that support from family and friends and people around you, or they're only able to give you sort of limited support, or maybe you just don't want to open up to them, it might be a good thing to speak to a therapist one-to-one about this, to support you through it. So I hope that gives you some ideas. I want you to leave me any comments, any questions, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.